Basically, what premarital counseling consists is you seeing a mediator or a counselor in that sense, or a sheikh or someone who is well versed with marriage, and understanding if you two are compatible for each other and how you will overcome things that can be hurdles through your relationships later
What
on.
about marital counseling?
So marital counseling, of course, it's counseling after marriage, like when you're married, and then also like the conflicts through marriage as well. So trying to go through that with a counselor or again a mediator, and seeing each other's perspectives. That is what marital counseling is.
So both of us are very well versed on mental health and mental health issues, and also premarital counseling. Would it be a good idea for us to take the role of a mediator for our own marriages, or our own, say one of us is getting married? Would it be a good idea for me to be my own mediator?
Well, that could be a bit tricky, because sometimes when you're talking to your spouse or the person you want to get married to as an expertise on something, then there's also a power dynamic there,
Right.
and there's a bit of imbalance in a sense. So I truly and fully recommend a different mediator,
Right.
someone who can see outside the box, because you are in the box altogether, and the things that you might avoid in the conversations, and sometimes you can be pushy and you can offend, and you know
Right.
there's a pull and push. But when there's a mediator, they see beyond what is going on, and they can call you out, and they can mention certain things that they see as a pattern going on in your relationship. So I personally feel like it's important to have someone else, even if you're an expert. Although you being an expert in what you do and trying to bring the relationship could make you more self-aware, which is also, a plus for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I find it so, because if someone is having a mediator, I find that would also, create comfort zones.
Okay.
Right. In the sense that you don't feel attacked when the mediator asks a question. You don't feel like, oh, my partner now is trying to attack that thing that I did the other day.
Yeah.
This person probably doesn't know me, so they're just asking out of pure interest.
Absolutely.
And someone would feel more comfortable answering that question. What are some of the things that are discussed during a premarital session?
So during a premarital session, a lot of the things that come up are just things about yourself and things about your partner in that sense. So things like to do with conflict resolution, things to do with communication styles or communication skills, things to do with self-awareness, things that you know about yourself, and things you know about your partner as well. The goal of your relationship altogether, where is this headed? Why do you want to get married beyond maybe the attraction that you have? What else is motivating you to, would you like to get married to this person if you are not attracted to them? Like, do you appreciate some qualities about them? And how is that going to, make your life better or worse for that sense? There's a list of things that people get to appreciate from premarital counseling, but those are the basic platform of what premarital counseling consists of. Yes.
So then, on communication styles, what are some of the communication styles, and how can this affect a marriage? Because what I really appreciate about premarital is the fact that people actually get to communicate who they are and their expectations, and then the other party either chooses to stay, go on with the marriage, or they choose to exit. Right. The whole engagement, and because they understand that, I know if I get into a marriage and this is going to be something that is going to be on the table, then I won't be able to handle it. So they can choose to exit the marriage. What are some of the things regarding communication that might break a marriage?
So, first of all, the purpose of communication is to feel heard or to feel understood. If you communicate and you don't feel understood, you don't feel heard and acknowledged in any sense, then communication has not served you. So someone is supposed to be able to comprehend what you tell them or what you give in that sense. Like an example I can give to do with communication is that when someone is like you're in a relationship and you're working things out, and then your spouse talks about a topic that they're passionate about, and you choose, maybe you're too preoccupied with something else, and they feel disregarded in that sense. It's easy for someone to pick a certain emotion or to be offended in that sense, because they expect you to be a ear that listens to them,
Right.
And also another thing that comes up with communication is like, what are some of the purposes that you feel need to be fulfilled in your relationship? So being aware that are you in this relationship because you're best friends? Are you in this relationship because you feel like this is your soulmate? Some people are in relationship because they feel like they can build a financial security with someone. So, like, seeing from different perspectives and understanding your relationship dynamic and where it's headed altogether is an important part of communication. But then there's also non-verbal communication, there's verbal communication. It's just being vigilant and being aware of how you guys are and the dynamic of relationship. Another thing that relationships cover when it comes to communication is your love languages. And we are in an era where that has, it's people are very vast with it, and everyone knows which one works for them. People don't know, they can Google and try to find out the actual tests that are in the internet that you can do and understand what is your love language, what is your spouse's love language. But that is also part of the aspects that people go to premarital counseling for, to understand when they feel most loved, which acts make them feel most loved, which acts make them feel most neglected. Sometimes you could be gifting your wife everything, but maybe all she needs is just quality time with you. Spending time with you would make her feel valued than you maybe sending her flowers or sending her different gifts. In certain aspects, maybe your husband just wants to feel appreciated. He needs words of affirmation more than he needs maybe acts of services. Maybe you cooking for him is not as important for him as you acknowledging it and him feeling respected in that sense, or needed. So I think the dynamics of that are also explored in premarital counseling.
Right.
Yeah.
You mentioned something about finances, which we're going to talk about after the break. What I love about what you said about love languages, I feel like it's very important for us to research and also try to understand your spouse and ask them. You can, there are actually questions that you can ask. When do you feel most loved? Do you feel most loved when I cook for you, acts of service, or when I give you positive affirmations or stuff like that? And also try to understand and evaluate yourself as well. And understand what is your love language. And more of this we're going to talk about after the break, inshallah. So see you in